Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today, as the name says it, I'm doing a first impressions video on this foundation, and this is the Forever foundation by Dior. And I haven't seen many of these being done. It could be just because it's just been ages, but recently Jaclyn Hill did a couple of videos recently using this foundation, and her skin looked flawless. It looks so good, and I thought I had to go and test it out because I do have quite a lot of like open pores in that particular area, and this kind of says it's supposed to give it like a pore refining effect or blurring effect, etc. So that would be quite interesting to see how that works. So if you guys want to see what I think of this foundation, then please keep watching. Okay, so I've done the top parts of my eye makeup and popped my lashes on. I've also primed my face, and for that I've used the Professional Matte Rescue primer, and then I'm going to be going in with my foundation. So the foundation that I'm going to be testing out, as the intro would have suggested, is this Dior Forever foundation, and it comes in a really nice box like this. The shade that I'm going to be trying out is 40, which is called Honey Beige, and I get 30 milliliters of product in here. I got it from my Debenhams store and I got it for £33. But this is the actual bottle, and I really like the feeling of this glass. I just love those types of foundation bottles. Not that it makes any difference whatsoever, but this is what the bottle looks like. So one of the reasons why I did want to try this foundation out is that it has shine control but also pore refining effect, and I generally get quite a lot of texture and pores showing in that particular area, and a lot of foundations that I've used, it hides it for a little bit but then it starts to show back up again. So this is supposed to be really good for that. It's supposed to have a matte finish but yet gives it like a nice glow to the face as well. It's supposed to be a little bit long lasting, medium coverage and buildable. So I'm going to shake the foundation or the bottle because it says to do that just to mix the product and just to make sure that it's got the right consistency. And I'm just going to pop some on this palette here, like so. There's about 3 pumps worth on here, which is like this. The consistency is pretty, pretty good, not too runny and not too thick either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dot the product around my face, and then on one side I'm going to use a blending sponge, and this is by Tarte. I didn't like the other sponge that the Tarte ones have, which is more of like a diamond shaped one. It just didn't do anything for me. This actually feels good, and it did almost double in size as well, and it just feels so soft. So I'm going to be using this on one side, and then I'm going to be using the optical blurring brush by Urban Decay on the other side, and see how the product works with these two. So I'm just dotting it around. So I asked the lady when I was buying it if it actually oxidizes, and she said it doesn't, so I'm hoping that it actually does stay the colour, if it is the right colour match for me. It actually does blend out quite nicely. I would say it's got a medium coverage, but in some of the areas that need a bit more foundation, I will apply a bit more just to see how it builds up as well. But so far, with one application, I think it's done a really good job, and the colour match I think is really good for my skin. Let's hope it doesn't oxidize, because then it definitely will be a lot darker, because I don't mind my foundation being a tad bit lighter, because when I do the bronzing and contouring it kind of balances out, but if it is darker then I can't really go and do that. So yeah, what I'm going to do is there's just a little bit more pigmentation here and around this area, so I'm just going to do a little bit more and just blend that out. For some reason I feel that this sponge seems to soak up a lot more product. I don't know whether it's just because of the consistency of the foundation, or whether because it's the first time I'm using this sponge as well, but it feels really soft on my skin. It doesn't feel as if I'm like bouncing loads on it. It just oh, I don't know, I can't explain the feeling of this sponge. It just feels really, really good. I think I'm gonna have to order more of these sponges. It just feels so nice and soft on the skin. Okay, so this side is done, and I just added a little bit extra here and here, as you guys saw, and I think it's done a really good job. The other side I'm going to try with the brush and see how that works. By the way, I did spritz both the blending sponge and this brush with MAC Fix Plus spray, and I tend to do that generally all the time anyway. For some reason, I don't know whether I put less on this side. I'm going to put a bit more because it seems as if this side, it actually blended out a lot better. But I'm just going to put another layer of foundation on top and see how it goes. Okay, so I feel that this brush has done a good job. I mean, I love this brush anyway for applying liquid foundations, even some cream foundations depending on their consistency. But I feel with this particular foundation, this side looks more dewy than this side. So because I tend to get oily quite quickly, as you guys may have known if you've been watching a lot of my videos, I prefer using matte products, mattifying primers, mattifying foundations and stuff. But I think I'm going to go and just blend all this out with the blending sponge because I just feel that this side feels more matte and it's not as shiny. So automatically I can see a difference with that dewiness. I don't know if it comes across on camera like that or not, but I prefer it with this sponge. I will test it out with a normal beauty blender sponge, but I'm absolutely loving this one. As I said, it is by Tarte, and I got it free when I ordered my Shape Tape concealer from QVC. They gave this foundation, they gave this sponge free with it as well. But I'm actually really liking it, so that's a bonus. So talking about the Shape Tape concealer, I'm going to use that to conceal and highlight the areas that I like to highlight. The shade that I'm using is medium. I have actually ordered a few more shades because it worked really well for me, and if you haven't seen the video, I've done a first impressions on this concealer, and I'll link that down below so you guys can see what I thought of it. But as you guys must know, or can probably tell, if I'm using this product now, I obviously kind of liked it. So yeah, I ordered a few more shades because I think it would work really, really well for my clients who like good coverage under their eyes, especially my brides. So I've ordered a few more shades. But anyway, moving on. Enough of the blabber. I'm just gonna highlight the areas that I generally like to highlight, and then using the non-dirty side of that blending sponge, I'm just gonna blend that away. So guys, I totally forgot how much coverage this product actually gives and how pigmented it is. Totally forgot that you just need the tiniest amount. So for your reference, if you are using it, start off with the smallest amount first, because otherwise you have to keep going and blending. I just put way too much on, so I have to keep going, dabbing and blending, hoping that this product will soak up a bit more, which is a waste, I know, but at least I'll know for the next time not to use as much. And then I'm just going to go and set that with my Makeup Forever pressed banana powder, and I'm just using my Morphe Y11 brush for this. And this, in that same video, I explained how I just love this powder. It's so soft and does the job really, really nicely. Then I'm just taking this Becca cream highlight in the shade Opal and just applying that with my finger to the high points of my face, and then just using this sponge just to kind of lessen the intensity For my cream contour, I'm taking this Lord & Berry Conceal It Concealer Crayon, and this is in the shade called Caramel. And literally, I'm just drawing lines. I didn't want to go too heavy with the contours, so I didn't go for a darker colour. This colour works really well on my fairer skin clients. But I'm literally just drawing lines with this crayon in the areas that I like to kind of hide away. And then just gonna buff it out with my Morphe Y8. Yeah, my Morphe Y8 brush. I have spritzed this with the MAC Fix Plus like I normally do. I just feel it helps to blend out the product that much better. And this crayon stick works really good. I mean, I've only got that one shade, but I know that they do a lot more different shades for highlighting or concealing, and also for contouring as well. So they do darker shades and lighter shades, but it blends out so quickly and really effortlessly. I love it. For bronzing, I'm taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil powder or bronzer and just warming up my face a little bit. And for contouring, I'm taking my Becca Shade and Light Perfector. I think it's the bronzing and let me just see what it says. Bronze and contour perfector. I generally just mix the two shades. I mean, I'm assuming this is supposed to be for bronzing and that for the contouring, but I generally just use a mixture of the two and just use that to contour with. Oh, and I'm using my MAC 100 brush for this. I know a few of you have been asking me to mention the brushes as I'm using them, just so that you know the brushes that I use. Then for my blush, I'm taking this Ripe Peach blush by MAC, and then just applying it first to the apples of my cheeks, and just with whatever's left on the brush, just moving it towards the temple. So for my highlight, I'm first taking this Soleil highlight in Hollywood Gold, and I'm using my Morphe Y13 fan brush for this. Look at that glow, and I just did like a couple things like that on it. Better use it on the other side now. It is so nice. You don't need a lot there. It gives it a nice glow, golden glow, but it's not too goldy bronzy, which I really like about that. And then just to enhance my highlight even more, because I love my highlights, I'm taking this Laura Geller highlight called Gilded Honey, and I'm using my Morphe M510 brush for this, and just literally applying it here. Oh my god, that is like, wow. Haven't used this Laura Geller highlight in ages on myself. I mean, I've been using it on my clients, but that is so good. I don't know if it's too powerful now, but it doesn't matter. So what I normally do after I have put my highlight on, I go back with the brush that I applied the blush with, and then just go and reapply, but without any product on the brush, if that makes sense. With whatever's left on the brush, I just go in kind of applying the same areas, and this kind of blends out the harsher lines between the highlight and the blush. Moving on to brows, I'm taking my Goof Proof eyebrow pencil by Benefit, and this is in number 6, and just quickly filling in my brows. So I'm just going to set that and go over the top of that with this More Brows in the shade Medium Dark. So before I work under my eyes and finish off the rest of my makeup, I'm just going to quickly set that. And I was just using the D-Slick setting spray by Urban Decay. I don't know if it actually works with oil controlling. I was just using it because it said it's supposed to. But I have used just the all-nighter one, and I feel it pretty much does the same stuff with regards to oil control. I don't think it has the added benefit of oil control, but that's probably just my skin. I don't know. If you guys have used it and you feel that it works for you, by all means just continue using it, but I think I'm going to use this up and just stick with the all-nighter one. So I've already tight lined my upper eyes when I was doing my upper eye makeup using the Scandaleyes black eye pencil. I'm just going to do the lower ones now. And then underneath that, I'm going in with two eye pencil. One is by Kiko and it's in the shade 14, which is a nice dark blue color. And then the other is this one by Urban Decay called Deep End. And Deep End is one of the colors that I've used on my top as my eyeshadow from their Spectrum palette. But if you do want me to do this eye makeup look, let me know. I don't mind recreating the look. But I'm just gonna blend the two on my lower waterline, starting off with this on the outer side and this working towards the middle. And then I'm just gonna set those two with the shadows that I used on the top parts. Well, a couple of the shadows that I used, which were Deep End, which is this one, and Prank, which is this one. And I'm just using my Morphe Y21 brush, which is a flat synthetic brush. And I'm gonna start off with the darker color first on the outer side. Sorry about pulling the face, guys, but I don't know why I just can't not do it. And then just to kind of soften that look, I'm taking this pink shadow by Kryolan, and this is in the shade 157, and I'm using my Morphe Y17 brush and literally just going on the edge of the eyeliners and trying to just blur it out as much as I can. So for my brow bone, I used this shade here, which is called Flatline from the Spectrum palette. So I'm just taking a smaller amount and applying it to the inner corners of my eyes. I did apply some earlier, but obviously with a lot of the blending and stuff, it's just come away. So I'm just applying that little bit more just to give it that extra pop. For my lower lashes, I'm taking this Excessive Lash Mascara by Makeup Forever. And finally for my lips, I'm first lining them with the Colourpop lip liner in the shade Lumiere. And then going over the top of it with the Colourpop liquid lipstick in the shade Beeper. So that is the makeup part of it done. Foundation wise, I'm actually really liking it. In the viewfinder, it's looking actually quite flawless, but in person, I can still see like my open pores. Maybe I should have used a more of a pore minimizing primer in that area first. But the reason why it didn't is because the foundation was claiming to try and blur out that effect. I mean, it has done it compared to another foundation if I wasn't to use the pore minimizing foundation, but I think I just expected that much more from it. But overall, I'm really liking it. I'm gonna wear it for a few hours and see how it goes. I generally have to powder my face quite a lot because I do get quite oily, especially in this T-zone area. But I'll see how it goes. I mean, it says it's a matte one and anti-shine, etc. So I'm hoping that it lasts a lot longer than a lot of my other foundations that I have that supposedly claim that as well. But I'll check and I will let you guys know in a few hours. So it's been about 2 hours 10 minutes since I last saw you guys, and the foundation has stayed on pretty good. It hasn't actually left my skin looking oily as such. It is dewy around that area, but when I'm touching it, it's not actually oily. So I think that's just the foundation in itself. And the lady at the Dior counter did actually tell me that it's quite good for areas that need mattifying. It will make it mattifying, but it'll make it look more dewy at the same time, so it gives it that radiance look. So I think that's what it's actually doing. But with the pores and everything, it's actually pretty good. If I come closer, this area here actually I'm not too sure about. It's a little bit patchy looking, but the rest of my face actually looks pretty decent, I think, for a few hours. So I will check back in about 3 hours ish and see what that looks like. So I'm back. Excuse the mess behind me. I'm just doing like a reorganizing my room type thing. So there's like so much mess behind me, so please ignore that. But coming back to the foundation, now I have eaten stuff, and so my lips, or my liquid lipstick, did kind of wear away, so I've just put gloss on top, but my eye makeup has stayed put and my foundation has stayed put, and I'm really liking it. This dewiness or this glowiness around this area is still there, but to touch, there's nothing there. There's no oily feeling or anything, and it feels so smooth. Now that it's probably the Makeup Forever powder that has done that, but it doesn't matter. It works really good. Coming closer in to look at my pores, is not looking too bad, I think. I mean, if I had a pore minimizing primer on first, I think it would have done a better job. But overall, it's been about 5 hours now since I've worn this foundation, so it looks really good. And right now I'm standing in front of the mirror, so I've got natural light coming in. There's no artificial light in front of me, and this is what it would look like, and I love it. I just think it gives it such a nice glow and such a nice kind of airbrush feel and airbrush look to my skin. I really like it. I definitely recommend this product to you guys. I mean, it's worth a try. Always go in, get a color match done, do a test patch, because obviously there's certain products that probably wouldn't suit some people. Some people can get allergies and stuff, so always test some products out. But overall, I'm loving this product and definitely would recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go and clear the mess behind me, and I'll see you guys in my next video.